So we're going to keep this video very short and sweet, straight into the information. And two things that we're going to talk about specifically is go over this article of exactly what Adam Aron said that should have all apes very excited. I know we're seeing a very substantial red day today, down about 11.38%, but this does typically happen on the day of earnings. But 2 to 4 weeks after earnings is where we really top out at with our earnings rally. As we can see back here in March, literally about 2 to 4 weeks to the actual day is when you see that peak. But on earnings, on the actual earnings day, you tend to see pretty big drops. The last earnings, the earnings before that, and the first earnings of 2021 all seen substantially red days on earnings. But like I said, almost 4 weeks to the day is when you see the peak of the earnings rally. So there is a chance that we do actually see a rally based off of this, because there is a flood of good news, but we're seeing a lot of short sellers shorting the stock. As well as that, we do have the 13F filing from Blackrock, and that's what I want to get into in this video, because it is very bullish to see such a large position or such a large bag holder per se holding onto their shares. And if AMC really was a stock that is making a lot of people bag holders, Blackrock would be the last person that would hold on to their shares. So let's get into all of this information. Like I said, we're going to keep this video pretty short and sweet, straight to what you guys need to know. If you guys like videos like that, consider subscribing to the channel. Everybody hit that like button for me. I do greatly appreciate it. Love every single one of you guys for making this possible. Now let's talk about it. Like I just said, guys, the earnings day typically very red. Really, the next following weeks is where we're going to see if investors take all of this bullish information actually as bullish for the price. There can be a discorrelation. You could theoretically get a lot of bullish news and have a declining share price, but that typically doesn't happen. If you see bullish news, you typically see a bullish share price. But we're seeing this low volume, only about 37 million for volume on the day, and 11.38% drop. The math here only suggests a lot of shares were shorted into the market. Not a lot of buying happened, but not a lot of retail traders or just retail investors are selling AMC at the same time. So the core group of investors are holding on to the stock, and this is a perfect buy the dip opportunity in my personal opinion. Now let's get into this Blackrock situation, because we do have their 13F filing, and this is incredibly bullish, and we're going to break that down. But they do own 40 million shares, 40,015,000 shares to be exact with you guys, controlling $1.5 billion worth of AMC. They are a substantial shareholder, and this is really the biggest filing that I have been waiting for, because I want to see, does BlackRock, a 40 million shareholder, almost 10% holder of AMC stock, do they still own their shares? And the fact that they own their shares at, get this, $37 per share is incredibly bullish. Like I said, Blackrock would be the last firm that would hold on to $1.5 billion worth of shares that were in the gutter, that were never going to recover. Obviously, Blackrock sees a future and potential in AMC, and that is a huge, huge sign, as well as the other filings are incredibly bullish as well. Now, keep in mind, this portfolio allocation is pretty low at about 0.04%, but still, nevertheless, a very large position. They would not be holding on to this if they thought AMC was never going to go at least back to $47.37 per share, or even much higher than that. So that's incredible. That's the first thing that we're just briefly going to go over. And then now, sorry about that, but now we're going to get into what I really want to talk about. So AMC Entertainment's Reddit investors wanted to make movies again. A branded credit card, AMC cryptocurrency, could be, says CEO Adam Aron. They're talking about issuing their own cryptocurrency. Now this article is pretty short, so we're just going to read sections of this. So it says, AMC CEO Adam Aron, who already has announced a push into retail popcorn sales and accepting payment in cryptocurrencies, waxed enthusiastic Monday as a flood of new ventures suggested by the chain's 4.1 million retail investors. The flooded ideas include everything from an AMC credit card and a return to movie producing to its own branded cryptocurrency. AMC may have been fighting for its life last year when it shaved off bankruptcy multiple times, Aaron said on a post-earnings conference call, but it's a new era thanks to the cash the company was able to raise from a ballooning stock price earlier this year, courtesy of fans turning investors on Reddit chat rooms and across social media. CFO Sean Goodman read Aaron a free-for-all list of questions culled from this pool during an earnings call with analysts after it reported Q3 earnings. An enormously high 80% of AMC shareholders now are individual investors versus institutions who continue to buy and hold the stock and whom the CEO needs to keep in his corner. Here are some of his responses. On AMC making movies, Aaron recalled it's been tried. The chain's former open road production and distribution venture with Regal won a Best Picture Oscar in 2015 with Spotlight. When so much content is being created, it is interesting to contemplate, should AMC fund content? Should AMC fund exclusive content? These are possibilities that we'll be exploring in 2022 and beyond. I have already had conversations with some of the best filmmakers in Hollywood. We have a war chest of equity capital to think differently about our future. Possibly going into joint ventures with movie makers is something we would consider. That is huge right there. If they can make some good movies, that could be a big win for AMC. Now, on AMC branding credit cards, this is even more exciting. We have already started discussions with several of the major credit card issuing banks to see if we can start something in 2022. There's a clientele, he said, in the AMC Stubs, AMC A-List, and new army of retail investors who are very much invested in our company financially and emotionally. And I think that is just huge. Most credit card companies take either about 1.5% to 2.5% right off the top of what you purchase. And that obviously is just a transaction fee. So if AMC did something like that, just imagine what kind of profits, what kind of, value would be created to the shareholders of AMC. It would be immense. Now, on crypto, AMC has been exploring with third parties how we can accept crypto and even launch our own. Also, huge right there. Do I even need to explain why all this is huge? Probably not, but it's just growing revenue. It's more consistent revenue. Instead of people going to theaters once a month, once every 3 months, once every 6 months, you're getting recurring revenue from credit cards, from popcorn, from your own cryptocurrencies. This is incredible. Now, on NFTs, AMC is currently in conversations with multiple major Hollywood studios about the concept of joint commemorative NFTs related to major film titles that show in AMC theaters. And also goes on to merchandise, t-shirts, golf shirts, coffee mugs, hats. Seems like a good idea to us, especially if we can connect it to major movie titles playing in our theaters. On esports and gaming, there are reasons to think it might be a smart idea. Aaron noted that Epic Games president Adam Sussman is on AMC board, and not a week goes by that we aren't asked to form a partnership with GameStop, which apparently many of you have heard of. He joked about the other hot meme stock. That's pretty much what you guys need to know. That is the bullishness of this earnings. We got a lot of clarification. I think it would have been better if he said, yes, we plan to do this, but because of regulatory concerns, you can't just say you're going to do all this stuff and not do it, or not put some kind of guideline on this. And obviously to do all of this in 2022 is possible, but probably improbable, just being reasonable here. These things take a bit of time, but that's what I want you guys to know, is that typically the day of earnings, you see a red day, but the following weeks after earnings, you typically are bullish, at least all throughout 2021. We have been bullish every single earnings call about 4 weeks after. So with all of this good news, it's very hard to imagine that AMC wouldn't have some kind of bullish reaction over the next month or so. So hopefully you guys got some value out of this video. If you do, hit that like button for me, consider subscribing to the channel, all of that good stuff. Links for free stocks down below in the description of this video. Stay tuned for the next video that I am going to be making right after this, guys. We're putting in work today. We're looking at the next potential big runner with a SPAC that is related to merging with Discord. So let's get to it, guys. Drop that like on the video, all that good stuff. Like I said, that's going to be all for this video. I will see you guys in the next one.